Morning. This is the battle camp, and we're back in business, baby. We're back. I haven't made a video in way too long, to be honest. I literally took the whole of December off. Not that I was very active before then, but I haven't even been busy. I just haven't been very motivated, if I'm honest with you. And I decided this year, the year 2020, I want to try and be more consistent with the videos that I make, because I want to try and hit 500 subscribers this year, which is a very achievable target, because last year I managed to, because I started doing this last year, I think, or yeah, towards the end of 2018. So I've been doing it about a year, and I've got like 235/34 subscribers, because I got a feeling this one person keeps subscribing and then unsubscribing, and I don't know why. I just keep hovering around 34, 35, 34, 35, 34, 35. But we want to try and break through that barrier. We want to get to 250 by kind of end of Jan, February, and we want to try and get to 500. Why am I saying we? It's just me. There's no one else doing this. Like, there's no one part of this channel apart from me. But yeah, so I suppose this video is just to kind of put some content out, as opposed to wanting to speak about a specific topic or a reason. So I suppose the thing next on the horizon is McGregor against Rory. That's in a couple of weeks, and I'll definitely be making a video about that. Here's one thing that I wanted to talk about. So this happened a little while ago, and it was Rory Macdonald. Bellator decided not to offer him a new deal, and he signed for PFL. Now, if we cast our minds back to when he actually signed for Bellator, he was a top 5, top 3 welterweight in the UFC, which by proxy made him a top 3, top 5 welterweight in the world. And it was a big news story when he chose to sign for Bellator as opposed to the UFC. So what had happened? He decided to fight his last fight on his contract, and then negotiate with the UFC, and he lost that fight. And I want to say he lost that fight to Wonderboy Thompson. Was it Wonderboy Thompson who just outstruck him? I have a feeling it was. And off the back of that, he was coming off the back of a defeat, and the UFC obviously didn't offer him what Bellator were willing to pay him, and he went over to Bellator. And look, he won the championship relatively quickly when he joined Bellator. He had that fight with Gegard Mousasi at 185 and just got dominated. And then he was part of this tournament, and then he lost to Douglas Lima in the final. But it's a weird sort of predicament that he found himself in when Bellator decided not to even make him an offer for a new deal. There's name value in Rory Macdonald, but what was like, I just wonder what the reason was why Bellator decided we don't want to be in the Rory Macdonald business anymore. And it's kind of like, what we're paying him, is he bringing that value to the table? And I don't know, because obviously Bellator is a bit of a funny one, because obviously they don't do pay-per-view. They've got this DAZN deal, and then they've got, I think, whatever Paramount or whatever channel it is in America, I don't know, but they've kind of got guaranteed money coming from both ends. So how do they see the value in someone like Rory Macdonald? It's by ticket sales, I'd assume. And maybe it's just me being an MMA fan and kind of watching Rory Macdonald literally from the start of his career. I believe he has enough value. Like, if he was to come and fight in London against a, I don't know, MVP I'd 100% go to that show, irrespective of what the undercard was. For me, for me as a fan, there's a lot of value in Rory Macdonald, but whether what Bellator, because I'd assume when he signed for Bellator, he was probably the highest paid guy that they had on their roster. So around that time, I think Benson Henderson had made the jump previously. What's his name? Is it Mr. Wonderful? How have I forgotten his name? Phil Davis. Is it Phil Davis? Something Davis. The 205er. He was the first one to make the jump. So it was kind of a trend beginning to develop at that point, where fighters were a little bit disgruntled with UFC and the fact that the Reebok deal didn't allow them to have their own sponsors. They weren't happy with the kind of money they were being offered and how their career was being managed full stop with the UFC, and they found solace in this other promotion. And everyone always seems to love Scott Coker, and that was a viable alternative for fighters. It still is. Why am I even talking about this? I can't remember what the point I was trying to make. Well, what a great start to the year, right? Oh, this is what I was gonna say. So yeah, so from them, I'm assuming making Rory Macdonald the highest paid fighter to now. I mean, maybe they didn't want to insult Rory Macdonald by saying, look, we'd like to keep you on the roster, but we don't see you here anymore, we see you over here. Maybe it's just a given that when you renegotiate a deal with the same promoter, it tends to be a case of the fighter just gets an improved contract to keep them on board. I don't know. Also, the fact that I'd assume at this stage, when an offer didn't come in from Bellator, Rory Macdonald's manager must have got on the phone to the UFC. Like, if he didn't, he's not doing his job properly. And if that happened and the UFC didn't even make Rory Macdonald an offer, it's a bit of a weird one for me. I don't understand why they're giving him, why they're blackballing him almost. Now look, he seems to be happy to be fighting for the PFL. Obviously they've got this tournament format where you win $1 million if you win the tournament, plus the guaranteed purses he's going to make if he progresses through the tournament. So he should be in for making, a decent bit of money next year. And let's not lie, the roster over there isn't as, I don't even know, I can't even name another welterweight. Obviously if I had a list in front of me, I'd probably recognise a couple of names, but off the top of my head I can't say, yeah, well, this dude, he fights for PFL in the welterweight division. Do you know what I mean? So there's an opportunity for him to make a hell of a lot of money, and that's what they're doing it for, right? But I just find it strange that the UFC didn't want to sign Rory Macdonald again. I find it strange that Bellator didn't offer him a new deal, and he's still young. Obviously age-wise he's young, but I think as a fighter he's got a lot of miles on him. But I still think he's got a lot to offer, man. I still think he's got a lot to offer, and I find it a bit, I've probably said this about 5 times throughout this video, but I find it strange that he's basically ended up in PFL. Yeah, I didn't intend to make a video about Rory Macdonald. As you can probably tell, it just kind of morphed into that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to try and make more videos more often. Redneck Truth Speaker, I see your emails and stuff. I will get back to you, man. Look, my Battle Camp email address isn't obviously my primary email address, and yeah, I've seen a couple of your messages and that, so I definitely will respond when I get a minute. But yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope this is a fruitful, successful year for everyone that watches this. And I'll probably catch you same time, same place tomorrow when I'm driving to work. I'll probably, tonight I'm gonna think of a video or something to talk about, and then it will just be a better video, a better viewing experience for you guys, and a better experience for me as a creator, you know. Alright, I'm gonna stop chatting shit. I'll talk to you guys next time.